Welcome to Adjusting Your Heart. I'm Doc AJ Chua, and today our topic is Be Happy, Live Without Bitterness. All of us have been hurt at one time or another by others, whether it's done intentionally or unintentionally. Maybe some of you have been bullied in the past. Maybe somebody have rejected you because of your race, your wealth. Somebody embarrassed you in front of so many people. A good friend shared your secret to others. Someone slandered you. Or worst, your partner has been unfaithful to you. Maybe somebody has borrowed money from you but didn't pay you back. You have been swindled, robbed, or kidnapped. Or you might have been molested or raped, or one of your loved ones was killed. I've experienced a lot of these, and I tell you, it is possible to be happy and live without bitterness. So my first point is to let go of painful memories, because if we don't, we will become bitter people. And bitter people are not fun to be with because they're usually unhappy and grouchy. They see life as unfair and they harbor a lot of resentment. They often talk about the past, and mostly it's negative. They wallow in self-pity even though they have a lot of things to be thankful for. That means they can't be happy for others because they're also easily jealous or envious. And they tend to see the negative side of people. They blame others, they argue with them, and they don't trust other people, which means they would have less friends and have distant family ties. So I hope that we won't be bitter people, but better. Let's have a victor mentality and not a victim mentality. Because if you have a victim mentality, always feel that you're a victim. You live in the past. But remember, my friends, we can't change the past. The only thing we can change now is the present and the future. And that's why I'm challenging you is to let go of painful memories. Because imagine that you've already allowed this person to hurt you in the past. And now you're still allowing that person to hurt you all over again. And sometimes that person might already be dead, and yet you're still suffering from it. But there are those who find it hard to let go of those painful memories because in a way they've grown accustomed to it. They're very comfortable. And some people want to take revenge. But my friends, all of us have watched a lot of telenovelas. And we've seen that those who plotted revenge, who wanted to kill their enemies, but in the long run, even after they have achieved it, they still feel the emptiness inside. You know what? The Philippines have a lot of nice beaches, like Boracay, El Nido, and it's so nice when we walk along the beach and then we see the waves, okay? And if you notice one thing, when the waves hit the shore, it washes away whatever dirt is found in the shore. And I hope, just like that, we would be able to allow our painful memories to be washed away. But that doesn't mean that you can forget. We can't forget whatever's here. But the point is, we won't dwell, okay? We won't dwell and keep on reliving those painful memories. And instead, let's use our time, our energy to do something productive. So let go of painful memories. And my next point is choose to forgive. Because if we don't forgive, it affects our physical health. Tendencies that we might have ulcer, heart problems, and even cancer because of all the stress. It also affects us emotionally. We might become depressed, okay? And not only that, it affects our present relationships. For instance, if you haven't forgiven your dad or your mom for philandering, now in your present life, the tendency you'll be a jealous person. You'll be paranoid that your partner might be cheating on you, and that causes problem. So, my friends, let's choose to forgive. Ask God for help. On our own, it's very difficult to forgive. But with God's help, we can. And then one way to do that is to think of that person's positive qualities. I know it's not easy. When we hate someone or we don't like someone, it's so hard to think of their positive qualities. But for us to be able to forgive, choose instead to dwell on that one positive quality that you could think of this person. And we need to forgive that person even if that person did not apologize. It sounds weird, right? You have to forgive, but that person did not apologize. But remember, there are people who don't know that they have hurt us. And there are also people in our society, especially the people who are older than us, who are in a higher position, when they do something that hurt us, they don't naturally apologize. For instance, our parents. In our family, let's say, my mom's way of apologizing is this. She would call me first. She would say, Jeanette, let's eat. That's apology. She won't say, I'm sorry, but you know that's an apology. Or let's say you had a fight with your husband. But we know that for most guys, apologizing is not easy. But what your husband would do is maybe your husband would just hug you, help wash the dishes, or give you a peace offering. That's their way of apologizing. And we also have to forgive, even if that person hasn't changed. Because if you wait until that person has changed, we might wait until we're dead and they haven't changed. And we will be the one suffering because we can't forgive. And please forgive even if you don't feel like it. Because if we're just going to be basing it on feelings, we really won't forgive anyone else. And if you really believe in God, actually forgiveness is an act of obedience. There's a verse in Colossians 3:13 that says, bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances you have against one another. Forgive as the Lord has forgiven you. It means that the reason why we can forgive someone, it's because we know that when Jesus died on the cross, He died for our sins. And He said that whoever will believe in Him, He would forgive all our sins. And upon experiencing that kind of forgiveness, then it is easier for us to forgive those who have hurt us. And one point I'd like to say is that after choosing to forgive others, one person you know you need to forgive is yourself. I've known of people who cannot forgive themselves for making, let's say, wrong decisions in their lives. But if God can forgive you, why can't you forgive yourself? And lastly, choose to forgive God. It might also sound weird to hear that, but there are people who, after so many trials in their lives, they blame God. Deep down inside, they hate God. They feel God is unfair. But if you harbor bitterness against God, but He's the only one who can help us be able to cope with life's problems. So forgive Him and just keep on trusting in Him. And you said, it's so hard to forgive. Let me share with you the testimony of Joy Tanchi Mendoza. She's the daughter of Pastor Peter Tanchi of CCF, Christ Commission Fellowship. And she shared her testimony in her book called When a Good God Allows Rape. That's because when she was only 15 years old, when her parents were out leading Bible study, some robbers came into their house, not only robbed them, but also raped her. And that's very traumatic. Imagine being raped by 7 men when you're only 15 years old. She wrote her ordeal, how of course she was sad, she was angry, and how did she overcome all of this? And now she's happily married to Edric and they have 6 beautiful children. She said it was really only God who have helped her. And of course the support of her family and friends. And right now, she is helping other people who have been sexually abused or raped. And she even has a blog called Teach with Joy. You can check that out in Facebook. She said, with God's help, she was able to forgive even before her rapists were captured. And she did her part. She also went to the police station to identify some of them. Why did you do it? If you said you forgive, how come she would want them to go to jail? That's because to prevent these bad people from committing the same crime and hurting other women. So I hope that just like Joy, who really endured so much, and yet she was able to forgive, and now she has a happy life. But if she didn't know how to forgive, and she become a very bitter person, I don't think she would be as happy as she is right now. So my friends, choose to forgive. Again, my first point is let go of painful memories. The second is choose to forgive. And I'm gonna give you a challenge or an assignment. I hope that after this video, you can take out a sheet of paper and you start to think, are there people in your life that you haven't forgiven? You write them down, their name, and what they did to hurt you. And this is my challenge. After acknowledging that, okay, like so-and-so hurt me when he did this, then you can ask God for help and say, Lord, I choose to forgive. You know what? I did that after I became a Christian, and it really gives me the freedom that I have now. I have peace in my heart, I'm happy, and I don't hold any grudges against another person. But let me share with you that I was also surprised who came up in my list. At the time, I was probably 16 years old. As I was going down to the list, I realized, oh, there was a teacher when I was still in grade 3 who yanked me, okay, and of course it hurts. I cried in front of everybody, so that's embarrassing. So I wrote, oh, I haven't forgiven that teacher. And I went down, okay, it's my dad. My dad will be hearing this for the first time. Because when I was in grade 1, it was my dad's birthday. So I wanted to give him a gift, so I went to my cabinet, and we are not rich, okay? We're a middle-class family, so I only have a few things that I love. And I said, oh, I have a very beautiful Hello Kitty pencil. So I choose to give that to my dad as a birthday gift. So I went and gave it to him. And then I ran away. What my dad didn't know was that I came back. And I heard him saying to my mom, holding that Hello Kitty pencil, she gave me something useless, okay? And you know what? I harbored bitterness against him, because from that day on, I never gave him a gift again. So, but after going down through that list, and I said, Lord, I was hurt when my dad didn't acknowledge my gift, but I choose to forgive him. After forgiving all those people in my list, let's say for my dad, I started giving him gifts again. So it was really liberating. So I'm challenging all of you to do it, okay? So choose to forgive. And my last point is set healthy boundaries. Because sometimes when we get hurt, we build doors. We build walls. We don't want bad people to come in, and that's very normal. And yet, when you build walls, nobody can come in, whether the good or the bad. So build doors instead. Because when you build doors, it means that, okay, I'll check if this person can be trusted. I'll peep through the keyhole first and maybe talk to that person, and eventually maybe open the door a little. And until that person can really be trusted, then I'm gonna open the door of my heart. Another is to say no assertively. It means that when you say no, you can say it nicely but firmly. That's setting boundaries so that you won't keep allowing people to hurt you. And you can check out my previous video on anger, the 3 practical ways to manage anger, because there I taught them to how to confront in love using the sandwich chart. Check that out. So when saying assertively, you can negotiate. Think of a win-win situation. For instance, let's say your parents wanted to take a course that you don't like for the family business, or maybe for them it's to give you a brighter future, but you don't like it. Then you could negotiate with your dad and mom. Mom, can I just take a double major instead? Okay, one course that you like and one course that I like. okay? Or maybe let's say if it's related to your career, your parents wanted you to help in your family business, but you want to try outside. Then you can negotiate. Dad, can you give me 1 or 2 years to work outside and then I'll come back to help the family business, or vice versa. Dad, can I first work in the family business for 2 years and then can you give me a chance to work outside? And then so that I could bring the expertise and knowledge I'm gonna learn outside and bring it back to our family business. So we can negotiate. Because if you don't know how to do that, and then as you grow older, you might have some resentment against, let's say in this case, it's your parents, because you feel that you didn't have a choice. So I'm now speaking to the parents. I hope that you would give your children the freedom to be able to choose what they want to take in college, what career they want to pursue, or maybe which country they would want to live in the future. I know it's not easy letting them go, but I hope you would be able to give them that choice. Of course, you can, in a way, share to them the benefits of staying with you, with helping out in the family business, but I hope you could give them that kind of freedom to choose what they want. And of course, for the children, if you are that child, okay, that you feel that your parents forced you into a field or a career that you're not happy with, understand that when your parents did that, it was for your own good, because they want you to have a brighter future. But what about for those who are verbally abusive? They've been abusing you. Then you can use the sandwich style and nicely tell them that whenever they curse at you or they verbally abuse you, telling you that you're stupid, that you would stop the conversation then. And then you'll only resume once that person has cooled down. Or what if your partner or somebody in the family or a friend is physically abusive? Somebody who would slap you, who would punch you. In this case, setting healthy boundaries would mean temporary separation. If you can. It depends if you can. Can you afford it financially to be separated for a while, in a way to protect yourself? Because if that's possible, then that it will be the best. Okay? If not, there are ways that you could seek help, seek counseling. The reason why I'm saying for temporary separation, especially for husband and wife, is, let's say take note, I'm not opting for annulment or divorce. But what I'm saying is that temporary separation can help the relationship grow and be stronger. For instance, after being temporarily separated, I hope that the perpetrator would realize his or her mistake. And of course, if that perpetrator wants to come back, then there should be terms like both of us have to undergo counseling. You have to handle your anger management problems first. And let's say if there's already improvement, then the couple can be together again. And what if somebody's financially abusive? And my heart goes out to those who are working abroad, the OFWs. They work so hard. And yet, there have been people who would share that it hurts them when they've sent money to the Philippines, to their relatives, to their loved ones, just to be squandered. And then these people don't save those money. Okay, they just squandered it, and they would just keep asking. And then there came a time that they were the ones in need, they're the ones abroad. They got sick and they need money, and they're asking help from the relatives in the Philippines, and none of them wanted to help. So that hurts. So I hope that maybe how can we set boundaries in this area is that before you send money again, you think if what they're asking for is a need or a want. Of course, if it's a need, somebody needs to pay for the hospital bills, of course I'm gonna help. But let's say they're just saying that I want to buy a new iPhone, but they already have a relatively new iPhone. Then I won't send the money. I'll just keep it first, because knowing that when there comes an emergency, then that's the time I'm gonna help them again. So setting boundaries sometimes would entail saying no. And take note, when you say no, it doesn't mean we don't love them. It just means that we want to save the relationship, because If you keep on giving to them and then you have resentment, eventually the relationship is not going to be okay. So my friends, it is possible to be happy, to live without bitterness by letting go of painful memories, choosing to forgive, and by setting healthy boundaries. So my friends, in case you have some questions or maybe you would like me to talk on certain topics, just leave a comment down below. Please like, subscribe, and share this video so that more people can be helped. So till next time, bye-bye.